computer. Hey, everybody. Welcome back to another amazing episode of Take a Warrior Fishing Inc. podcast. This is number six. And I'm Ken Wells. And as always, with us is our president and founder of Take a Warrior Fishing, Mr. Blaine Urie. Blaine, how are you doing today?
Good. How you doing?
Hey, man, getting after things, man. We got that big National Bass Pro rod and reel giveaway to a nonprofit organizations all throughout the United States on Thursday. And so myself and I think Rick Naylor will be out there and Don will be out there representing Take a Warrior fishing. So it's going to be good to go out there and talk to that general manager and um, receive this awesome gift to our warriors at Take a Warrior Fishing.
Yeah, that's pretty cool. Glad you're reaching out. And if y'all don't know what that is, that's where Bass Pro does their, I don't even know when they do it, but they offer discounts or some type of promotion where folks can turn in a rod and reel combo. And then Bass Pro takes those and donates them to organizations like ourselves. So we're fortunate that we're going to be able to get the recipient of some of those um, rod and reels. But we've got a lot of stuff that's happened since our last podcast, which we'll talk about here in a little bit. But summer's starting to kick off here at the beach, so it's getting really nice out here, except for the crowd. Other than that, it's getting good.
That's right. And we just wrapped up a few weeks ago our first annual saltwater slam in Beaufort, North Carolina. And I'm going to tell you the from my perspective, the community response to that was overwhelming, and I think we had a very, very successful first saltwater event in the history of takeaway fishing.
Yep, I totally agree. It was actually awesome to see, and I think we talked about it. The thing that stuck out with that event was a couple of things that stuck out. Obviously, the salt water and such, but the two things to me that stuck out is when the boaters could come back, we had people standing there waiting on them and watching and cheering when they would bring the fish up to the dock, and then bring it when they would open the cooler, people would see it start cooling, when they'd raise it out, I mean cheering, and then when they raise it out of the cooler, they would cheer. When they take it, walk it up to the weight station, they would cheer. It was just cool how many. So that was the first. The second aspect was how many friends and family showed up to support the warrior and or boater that came fishing. But it was a really awesome event, especially the first time ever. So obviously we can't go anywhere but up from there. So just and that's going to be hard to beat. We did a pretty good job on that one, but we always do better the next event. We just have to
That's
keep
right. And
that
not
track.
only that, but I think we had well over 100 plus people at that event for it being
Oh,
the first time.
just participants, we had over 100.
Right.
So when you add volunteers and then you add the spectators, you add the staff from Town Creek, I bet we were pushing 150.
Yeah. And then you had your old Coast Guard. Now I wouldn't
Yep.
was that your unit back in the day?
No, it's from the
Squadron
same.
or
It's called Sector. And
sector? Okay.
when I was in, it was Group Fort Macon. They changed it to Sector Fort Macon. So I was on a cutter, but it was a small boat station that was there. So that was pretty cool to have. And then we had the secretary that you got to fish with of the military and veterans affairs from North Carolina. So that was pretty cool. Had some cool people show up. So we definitely got to up our game for all these events from here on out.
Yeah, because expectations are there now. And what's good about the secretary, Madam Secretary, I was reading, she recently got confirmed in her position, be officially confirmed as a secretary. So
Oh,
congratulations to you. I think that's going to be a big step towards all our veterans here in North Carolina, and hopefully, I have no doubt she'll make a positive impact.
so we had the
Or
unofficial secretary there. That's good.
we did. So hey guys, if you haven't subscribed to our channel, hit the subscribe button. Like our videos and comment on this podcast. Again, if there's something that you'd like to see on our podcast, or if you have a question that needs to be answered, all you got to do is, let us know, and we'll make sure we address it on our next podcast. We did have a um, contest in our last podcast, Dwayne. I know we remembered it was the total weight from the Spring Warrior class. Nobody answered it, so
Yeah,
we're gonna try.
also.
Yeah, and so we're gonna try this again. We're gonna do the total weight caught for the saltwater slam. And Dwayne, what do we have for the one that's the closest to the overall weight?
Um, let's see what. Actually, I've got a bag of fish bites. that we'll give the winner. Since it was a saltwater event, saltwater question, we'll give them a bag of fish bites, which is a saltwater artificial bait.
Nice. All right, folks. We now are going to introduce to you our first guest. We actually have two guests on our podcast this evening. Our first guest, his name is Cory Furlough. Ironically enough, we were in the same battalion in the Army at Fort Bragg, which is it's a small world. And me and Cory had talked about that prior to this podcast. And our second guest will be our new director of Warrior Relations and Services, Ed. I'm not even going to try to pronounce his last name and chop it up. I will let him do that, but we call him, his first name is Edwin, but he prefers Ed. And then what's really cool, Wayne, I think you're going to get this, is Kayleigh's actually going to be on the podcast in person with the
Yeah.
bad fish joke this time.
Yep. Finally. Actually, we got some good news for Kayleigh. We'll let her tell us when she gets home, share what happened with her yesterday. So, got good news for Kayleigh.
Oh, good. Good deal.
C-130 rolling down the strip.
C-130 rolling down the strip.
We on an airborne ranger, take a little trip.
Airborne ranger gonna take a little trip.
We're gonna stand up, a hook up, shuffle to the door.
Stand up, hook up, shuffle to the door.
We're gonna jump right out and a count to four.
Going to be Cory Furlough. Cory Furlough, we met at the Saltwater Slam. And Cory, welcome to Take a Warrior Fish and Nick podcast. It's an honor to have you on. And how are you doing today, sir?
I'm doing good, man. Appreciate you having me.
Absolutely. So I know I didn't know you. I know you're busy, from all the conversations that we've had via text or phone. Just kind of like tell our viewers kind of who is Cory and a little bit of background about yourself.
Yeah, man. So I'm a husband and father. So been married for right at about 25 years to Michelle. I have a little girl named Olivia. She's 10. So that's first and foremost. A lot of people know me from my YouTube channel, podcast, stuff like that. It's called Blind Hog Adventures. So a lot of people have got to know me that way. I am the North Carolina regional coach for Salt Strong. It's a large online saltwater community that we do a lot of teaching, stuff like that, and different things. And then for my 40-hour gig, my adult job, so I can afford to fish,
Right.
I am a peer support specialist with the Department of Veteran Affairs. And that is basically me as one messed up dude helping a lot of other people's going through different things. Just trying to live the best lives we can, man. Doesn't matter if it's PTSD, anxiety, depression, irritability, anger, readjustment, just life in general, man. Just trying to figure our way in the world after we get out of service and moving forward. So that's what I do Monday through Friday, and then little other stuff. So yeah.
Well, if I read it right, you're also a worship pastor at your church.
I am. I've been doing worship pastoring for about 10 years off and on, so pretty consistent. So
That's awesome, man. So, we were talking earlier, we're doing our little video and sound check prior to the podcast, and I mentioned that June is PTSD Awareness Month.
yeah.
And I'd mentioned to you that it's good that we have a month set aside for that, but it's like it should be every day.
Yeah.
The number of veterans who get out of military service, I mean, on suicides, I've had a few of my brothers unfortunately take that route. It's good to know that we have somebody like you who, people you can relate to it because you were in the military and you
Yeah.
have that background.
Yeah, I didn't even know I had it. I didn't know what it was. I didn't have a clue. So I kind of pivoted. I started with the VA actually with nursing. I went back to school later in life, and I started with the VA in 14 actually with nursing. And so as I come to the VA, I knew a lot of stuff was going on with me personally, like in my life and different stuff.
Right.
Didn't have a clue what none of that stuff was, man. I just thought I was screwed up and going through some weird midlife crisis. I didn't know. And
That's
when I
right.
started asking the people all these questions, because when they come in, you got to ask these different questionnaires, right? When you come in for your health care. And I'm like, man, I can check off every one of these boxes. I've never been asked these questions. And I went and talked to a guy and asked, man, he was like, yeah, and everything just kind of lined up, and it was like, holy cow, this is kind of what's happening. So it's something, man. It really is. And a lot of people deal with it and don't have a clue what it is, and they just think they are going nuts, man. And a lot of those things I described are those signs of PTSD, right? And you just think that, I'm the old ornery vet, I'm whatever, and it's a lot more to it that's kind of settling out as it goes along.
That's right. Now, recently you were also if I remember right, you actually put your boat in the saltwater slam that we had recently in Beaufort, North Carolina.
I
And
did.
you had a warrior. How many warriors did you have on your boat?
I had two on my boat this time. Yeah.
All right, so let's talk about that, man. Let's talk about that. Being a veteran, because we have a lot of boaters who, they sign up and they, hey, I want to take a warrior out, but they're not warriors, but they're still serving in a capacity where they can help us out. You,
Yeah.
on the other hand, are a warrior
Yeah.
taking warriors out on your boat. How was that experience?
It was awesome, man. It just flowed naturally. I was introduced to you guys a while back. I think I saw something. I don't even know if it's something online or something like that. And I just said, well, heck on it. I'll send something in. And so I had my first experience in between boats. I had sold a boat I had. I was down. Honestly, I got in a kind of rough place. Fishing is the water is my escape, man. It's just a place I go and just cannot think and just be. And so actually I sent something her. I thought it was kind of hooey. I was like, I'll never hear nothing back. Well, heard something back in less than a week. Got hooked up with a dude named Sam over in Greenville. He carried me out. We met, everything was provided, and I felt kind of weird doing it, but I was like, well, somebody else probably needs it worse. That's what a lot of people think. But we went out, had a great time, met some great people, connected through you guys. And then when opportunity came around, I was like, man, I'm paying it forward. I've got my boat. I can pay it forward, and then I can hopefully introduce and make some connections with some good dudes. My podcast partner, Gaston, has been with you guys a long time, carrying people out. Gaston King,
Hmm.
and so he was encouraged, and I was like, dude, let's do it together. Let's carry the boats down. So I ended up with two vets, Garrett Watts and Adam Riley, and man, we had a blast. One was Navy, one was Marines, and I was Army. So it was kind of like one of those knock knock jokes. You got an Army Marine and a sailor on the boat, kind of thing. But we had a blast, man. We fishing was secondary, hanging out and just having a good time of busting each other's chops and having a good time and getting on the water and all that stuff was the primary thing, man. It was pretty good.
That's awesome, man. So, like, how was that banter between the Navy, the Marines, and the Army while you were
Surprisingly,
fishing?
surprisingly, the Navy guy was throwing the most banner to the Marine and the Army. And I was like, dude, you had the least amount to like probably throw, but like he was trying hard. But we had a good time, man. We had a really good time. But that banner was at times probably a little more colorful than probably should have been, and other times it was a little more serious. But it was what you expect. It was just from the
Right.
time we got on the boat and just were hanging out before blast off to all the above, man. It was like we had known each other forever, and it was just because of the common background of us being veterans. It automatically broke the ice, and it was just, yeah, man. Let's have a blast.
So I'm going to ask you this question real quick, and I know on the back of our jersey, two words resonate with me that you mentioned with having that Navy guy and the Marine dude on your boat. I mean, fishing hills? Do you think that's an accurate statement?
Oh, 1,000,000%. And I know that's an over exaggeration probably, but it's honestly, my wife will tell me to go fishing. If it is the way that I am able to just let go, it is my safe place. Um, just being out in nature, seeing the sunrise, being at peace, not having phones and mess and I don't know, man. It is definitely a healing place. And yeah, I invite anybody to try it, man. It's not about always the catching, it's just about the act of it and being out there in God's creation. And yeah, it's a very peaceful place, man.
That's awesome. So we are going to do our second event, our second annual saltwater slam in Beaufort. Do you see yourself participating in that again for us?
If any way possible, I'll be there, man. I'll be there.
That's awesome.
Yep.
That is awesome.
So,
Dwayne,
Cory, you mentioned Adam. I got to meet Adam last year. We did a last minute. Me and my buddies were going to do we get together in September. We're going to do an offshore trip, and all of them but one backed out. So I'm like, you know what? I'm going to offer up to a warrior to come. So last minute, like literally the night before, Adam responded. I put a blast out. Adam responded. He drove an hour and a half, met us in Manio, and I was going to
oh
ask you,
wow,
did he bring you any food to eat?
Oh, heck yeah, man. So if y'all don't know, Adam is a wild game processor. And man, dude makes all kind of stuff. He can process any kind of game. He does some hogs, and stuff like that on the off years or on the off months. But dude brought some venison, some deer, all that stuff, and different kind of jerkies and sausage and breakfast, like
Yeah.
summer sausage, and oh my gosh, man, I had brought all kind of snacks and all that stuff. We didn't even touch them, man. All we did was get hooked up and eat. And he was throwing out bags to other vets around us, and before blast off, he was like, "What
Yeah.
guys we knew?" And I went down there, so three of us went. It was me and Michael Letchworth with Sam Jones Barbecue, and then Gaston King. We all three went down together because we're good friends up here near the Pungo, and so we all did that together and went down and carried our boats. And man, we were all kind of talking junk. Honestly, before we ever blasted off, their vets were talking junk to us. We were all laughing back and forth. Didn't know anybody from Adam. You know what I mean? We had just met. And so he's chunking bags of jerky to people. And I mean, that's the dude talking all the junk too, just so you know. That was the
Oh yeah.
Navy talking the junk. But he told us the
Yep.
story of you guys going and doing that. And, and yeah, man, it was really cool. It was really
Yeah. Adam's also the same one. When we were doing the raffle toward the end, we had like 3 or 4 different
Mhm.
charter captains offer up a free fishing trip as
yeah.
part of the adding to the raffle. Adam's also the guy that offered up the processing and then won his own processing ticket.
That's about right. That's about
Yeah,
right. Yeah.
yeah. So he
Yeah.
won that, so we gave him something else. But Adam's a good guy. One thing, actually, I want to point out something for both of you guys, and it's not to toot my own whistle. It's the envision I had when I created Takeaway Fishing. Is you both came aboard as a warrior as fishing, and then you both appreciated and supported what my vision was, and now look at you. You're helping me spread the word as warriors to other warriors. So I can't thank you both enough for helping to believe in what I started and helping not just me, but helping me, like you said, pay it forward to all of our other brothers and sisters. And Ken knows me. I'm not tooting my whistle. I'm saying me right now because I did start it.
Oh yeah.
But the Tackle Warrior Fishing is much more than me now. You've got Ken, you've got all of our board members, you got boaters like yourself, warriors like yourself. We got volunteers, and we at the and I definitely got to give these folks a shout out at the saltwater slam event. We had the Clark County Young Men's Group that came in with the sons and daughters. I mean, sons and moms. And holy cow, did they knock it out of the park! And then with them, when they were at the parking lot, then they came over the Carter County West Carteret JRTC. I believe they were Navy. They came in. Just the volunteers we had that event was just a knockout. And then of course the host Town Creek Marina, Miss Carol, Mr. Steve they were awesome. And then the manager Daniel, and then the crew Bennett. Everybody there was just it was amazing. So I just wanted to point that out. That's how Takeaway Fishing grows. People come on board. They participate in some manner. They see what we're trying to do, and it goes. And speaking of somebody coming on board, there's old Miss Kayleigh.
It's me.
But I just want to
Hey,
pass that
y'all.
on. Howdy.
Hello.
Going
How
on.
are you guys? Hold on.
We're doing
Can you
good.
hear me?
We can hear
Okay,
you
here you go.
perfect.
I love it for that. Hey,
All
friend.
right.
Going on.
Well, Cory, we appreciate you being on our podcast, sharing your message, sharing your experiences that you've had so far with Take a Warrior Fishing. And it's just good that, you're able to find that time to do so. And we definitely appreciate it.
Yeah, man. And if anybody's out there, if they have questions, if they want to talk to somebody who gets it, if they're looking for resources, if they're looking for ways to if you're out there and you find yourself dealing with anger and irritability, and if somebody cuts you off, you want to pull them out the car and you snap and don't know why, or if somebody walks up behind you, you jump 2 foot and say something, then you don't even know why, or you get crazy emotional, or whatever. You find yourself going through periods of anxiety and feel like heart attacks, but it's a panic attack, or depression, and you don't have a clue what's going on. You say, well, I wasn't in combat, who cares? You say different things. If these things are going on, reach out. They've got my info. You can, please reach out. I will be glad to talk to you. They can give you my phone number. You can call 24/7 if you're feeling in that hopeless state. And I will get you hooked up with the right people. And honestly, if you're involved in VA care, you can literally tell if you're in the Morehead City group or in the Greenville group or any of that, in any of those surrounding counties, and you want peer support, you can come see me. Just tell your provider that you want to see peer support. You want to talk to that dude that knows what it's like. They know who I am. Everybody knows me. I'm pretty easy to find. My last name is Furlough, just like the military term. I want to talk with that dude, and they will get up with me, and I will get you in there, and we will make sure you're taken care of.
Sweet.
Yeah. Cory, I do want to give you another shout out and thank you. He mentioned Salt Strong earlier. He got connected with Salt Strong to send a box of baits, and then anytime something that he sees online that he wants to help, he's always messaging me, hey man, I can help you do this, or let's do this. Let me help you do that. So thank you for everything you're doing with us. Great to meet you. Well, I met you in January, but great to meet you in 2025 for the first time, and looking forward to working with you in the future. And thanks for all you do for us.
Yeah, and I'll see Ken there in July when we recase the colors. Hopefully, there at Fort Bragg. We were in the same.
I'll be there.
Long time apart, but we were actually in the same battalion there, same regiment at Fort Bragg in the 82nd. That's pretty wild.
That's
That's crazy.
awesome.
Yeah, yeah.
All right, brother. Well, you
All
have
right,
yourself
y'all.
a good day, and thank you again for being on our podcast.
All right, y'all. God bless.
Thanks, Cory. Bye.
Thanks, Cory. We'll see you.
All right, bye.
I just love him.
He's a good dude.
Mm-hmm.
You know, and he's so sincere, which makes it even more like addictive to hear him talk. You know, because he's honest. All right, well, folks, we have our next guest, which is going to be I'm not even. Oh, those is that the cheer wine?
Yeah,
They were cool.
I found them hanging out. So I'm just showing them. These aren't the best ones. The best ones are hanging up somewhere else. But
That's
I found these
awesome.
on my desk. They're sitting there. Lazy Bakes. Good old Lazy Bakes. Thanks, Anthony.
Oh,
Anthony's
yeah.
the man.
Them were cool.
Anthony, yeah, those are awesome.
Yeah. Cool. Sorry.
Well, our next guest is our new director of
Hey.
Warrior Relations. Sir, yes, sir.
Before you get to Ed, his last name's Wynn, by the way. First name Ed, last name Wynn. If you came from out, just say Ed Wynn. That's his last name. So Kayleigh, I said you had some good news. I was going to let you tell everybody what you did yesterday. Congratulate you in person.
No, what'd you do yesterday?
Yesterday was my first day back on the job. I am finally employed again. I'm a working man. It was awesome. The whole team was very welcoming to me. I'm very excited about my new job. It is work from home, so I'm adjusting to desk life, but
That's rough.
I got a standing desk. I've got snacks. I've got dual screens. I'm a total nerd over here. It's been really great. So thanks
That's
for
awesome.
thanks for the shout out. I promise you still have all of my free time left. So
awesome. Hey, speaking of that, we need to talk about October 10th and 11th offline. We got some more opportunities for that weekend we got to talk to you about.
I thought we were going to a barbecue that weekend.
We got all kinds.
One of us is.
Yeah, we got all kinds. We got 3 different things we got to go through that weekend now. We've been invited to 3 different events the same weekend, which is an awesome
we're a trifecta.
Yeah,
all right, well, I call shotgun on the pig. I'm going to the pig, the one with the pigs.
All right.
Would you rather go with pigs or bikers?
Oh, dang it.
Yeah, now that changes, huh?
Frick.
Yeah, at the beach.
We'll have to talk about it for sure.
Yeah, we'll talk about it later.
We're busy.
Well, we got
We're busy, folks.
Edwin, or Ed, as he likes to be called, is our new director of Warrior Relations and Services, and I thought it was appropriate to have him on our podcast today to kind of do a quick introduction and why he joined Take a Warrior Fishing, a little bit of background on Ed. So without further ado, let's hope he's here. This is Ed. Ed, how are we doing today?
Good. How you doing?
Good, good. So just let you know, this is Kayleigh. Kayleigh, this is Ed.
Nice to meet you.
Hey.
All right. So Ed, real quick, let's talk about what your new role is with Director of Warrior Relations and Services for Take a Warrior Fishing.
Yeah, well, first off, thank you guys for having me. It's an honor. I'm really excited to be here and being able to share a bit about what we're doing at Take a Warrior Fishing. My current role is the Director of Warrior Relations and Services for Take a Warrior Fishing. Really, it's focused on outreach, event coordination, and making sure that our warriors are connected, to each other, getting on these fishing trips for those meaningful experiences. I help match the veterans and active duty service members, or what we call warriors, with boaters, and kind of walk them through the process, stay engaged with them every step of the way, and really my goal is to make sure that no one feels like they're just another number, right? They're part of a family here, and a growing family, and part of the organization.
Awesome. So what's a little bit of background about Ed? Who is Ed?
Yeah, so
and wait, how do you say your last name? I was going to
When
chop it up. And so Dwayne's like, no, it's Ed Win.
Yeah, so it's Ed. My last name's Aristizabal. So
I was close.
I would
yeah,
have jacked that up.
yeah, it's all
So
good.
how do you say it?
Aristizabal.
When
Win.
Yeah, yeah. People just, my Marines and people I served with, they just call me Artie. Real simple, right?
Perfect.
Artie. Yeah,
I like that.
Perfect.
yeah. I mean, I like it too. People are like, "Are you in artillery?" No, I'm not. They're just,
Nope.
short for my last name, I guess.
Would have been like, what? Are you not what?
Well, we're in the
Yeah,
cool last name club for sure because
yeah.
they
Appreciate
can't
it.
do my
Oh,
last
yeah.
name either. So
Yeah,
don't worry
Kayleigh's got
about
a
it.
last name.
yeah, I forgot
Katie-
about that. We got two
She's
last
got like a
names.
20-letter last name.
Don't know.
Yeah.
It's not that bad. It's Ramsamooj. It's just like it's spelled.
Okay, interesting.
With Fidler in front of it,
And we keep the fiddler part in front of it. Yes, we do.
and her name's Kayleigh, and it's got a Y and I and the E and a G and H instead of the Y in it.
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
I'm Irish. What do you want from me?
30 letters, yeah.
Awesome.
Sorry, we digress.
Yeah. So as far as my background goes, so I served in the Marine Corps. I was in the Marine Corps for 8.5 years, serving in various leadership positions. A lot of what I did was logistics. Mentoring obviously is a big thing. Mentoring, training, developing the junior Marines. Spent several years, overseas, including in Japan, which was a life-changing experience. Japan is amazing. If anybody ever gets a chance to go out there, highly recommend it. The fishing out there is ridiculous. I didn't get to do any of the scuba diving, but I always recommend that for my Marines. Go out there, go scuba diving, get the classes, certifications, and just go out there and experience that. But yeah,
You went full scuba.
no, I didn't. I didn't.
Oh,
No, I didn't. I wish I did, but I didn't get that. If I could go back, I would have gone scuba diving for sure.
I
that's
bet.
awesome.
Take a warrior scuba diving.
That's
Yeah,
right. Spearfishing.
Yeah.
yeah, that's huge over there. Yeah, but no, I mean the fishing out there is awesome though. But yeah, no, I'm Marine Corps for 8.5 years. I loved it. Now, what I do since being out of the Marine Corps, I'm a veteran service officer. So, just helping out the veterans here in North Carolina, advocating for them, kind of guiding them and navigating them through the benefits process, claims process, ensuring that they get the support that they need from us as VSOs, but also just making sure that they're being taken care of in every way possible.
Awesome. And so what kind of like, I know Dwayne put out a feeler email about, the role that was available and what possessed you to respond back to that role?
Yeah, no, good question. So I actually met Dwayne at the fishing expo in Raleigh. I was out there, with a buddy of mine, just kind of going through all the vendors, picking up uh, local, tackle and stuff from the local companies. And I saw the tent set up there, and I was like, oh, this seems super cool. Like, let me learn and find out what they do. And after talking to them, I'm like, man, this is awesome. So I actually took a bunch of these QR codes with me, and I handed them out at my office when I got back to some of the veterans. But once I got that email, I just thought it was just an amazing opportunity. I mean, the mission behind Take a Warrior Fishing is amazing. It's building connections with warriors. Sometimes I feel like when you transition out of the military, at least for me and a lot of the veterans that I'm friends with, you kind of lose this purpose that you had for the past however many years you were in the military. It's like, what do I do now? I went to school right after I got out, and people that I was going to school with, they're a lot younger than I was. They weren't in the military, so there was no way of connecting with them. But the mission behind Take a Warrior Fishing, I mean, you're connecting veterans with other
Right.
veterans, warriors. You're connecting them. You're bringing them out on these fishing trips and events. And I just thought that was so awesome because it builds camaraderie. For someone like myself, fishing is clarity. I love to do it. It calms me down. It's a chance to kind of reset and relax and with it being PTSD Awareness Month, I think mental health is such a huge issue right now, not just in the military, but for veterans. And an organization like this, I mean, it's going to help with those issues that we face, and that's why I jumped on it. I mean, honestly, I think it was just a great opportunity, and just to be part of this organization is, I think, amazing.
That's awesome.
And
I
we're
like
pretty
that.
fun to be around. I mean,
We are.
yeah,
Even though Dwayne is like the most emotionalist person you'll ever meet in your life. He's actually
until you get him
smiling
out
right now.
fishing.
He's
You get him
smiling
to
right now
the
as we
event,
speak.
and he
I just have a resting bitch face, so that's all. Other than that, I'm pretty along to get around with. So one cool thing about Ed is he is Leland, right? You live in Leland, not Wellington.
No, I live in Hampstead, but the office is Wilmington. Yeah.
North side.
So,
Let's go.
So the our event or saltwater event, Ed drove up from Hampstead, got there like 6, 7 in the morning with a baby. The baby didn't come up, and then left that day. So that's pretty cool. That was his first event. So Ed, what did you think about your first experience?
Yeah, how'd that go?
At one of our events. So what did you think about it?
It was good. So I know you guys were kind of like, hey, we're a little bit worried about the time and the drive, but for me, it's really not a big deal. I love driving. I'm a morning person. I wake up as long as I have my coffee, I'm good.
That Dwayne coffee.
Yeah.
My coffee. Yeah. But no, I mean, it was awesome. Like when I got there, it was kind of a little nerve-wracking for sure, just to, like, hey, what do I do? Like not standing around, kind of not doing shit.
And you were kind of thrown right into the fire, man.
Yeah.
I was. So like it was like, all right, we're gonna have you at the command post, and we'll be calling the boats, and got to get the warriors checked in. I'm like, awesome, simple enough. But I was like, holy shit.
Yep. That's actually how I recommend anybody join warrior fishing. Just show up to an event, and we'll put you somewhere, and you'll meet everybody, and that's the same way I got onboarded.
Because that's the exact same thing that happened to Kayleigh. She talked to me a couple of days prior to the event. She drove in from Wilmington, very similar to Ed, and she got thrown into the fire too. So it's pretty cool. The difference was Ed got assigned with my wife. So but it's a good thing and a bad thing. But the good thing is she has done the registration pretty much at every event. So
she's the queen.
You have the down pat. The issues that they had to go through though is this event we had 4 no-shows, so which is irritating enough. But they got to Ed, you common sense, it. When you have a no-show, that throws everything for a loop. You got to make sure a boater's got a warrior's got a boater. And I mentioned that last podcast, but if you're going to sign up for an event, you got to show up. Unless you got a dire emergency, you've got to show up. We had an officer, I'll go ahead and call him out. We had an Army officer in April signed up. He didn't show up. What did he do? Ken?
He was sleeping.
Yep, an officer. Later going over sleeping and didn't show up. He knows if he's listening. He knows who he is. But we've gotten to the point in the last, and I don't mean to get on a little bad conversation here, but the last 2 events we've had over 120 dropouts in 2 events. So it's gotten to the point we're going to have to do something to either to help prevent folks from doing that, because it takes a lot of time. It creates a lot of unnecessary stress, and the no-shows are even worse than the dropouts. So great job on what you did. I actually kind of made it worse for you because I was making it confusing with the boat calls, the number calls, but I appreciate everything you did. It turned out being pretty good. It ended up being a great day. Yeah,
I mean, we ended up, kind of getting into a flow of things. At first, it was a little kind of confusing. At first, kind of just trying to, all right, we got the warriors checked in, but some of the boaters aren't ready specifically at this time. So it was kind of a lot of like boaters, or sorry, warriors kind of standing around waiting for their boat. And then the wind did not help at all.
I forgot about the wind.
Oh
Yeah,
I forgot you were saying that.
Yeah, so
bad.
like I'm like, did they call this boat in yet? I'm gonna have to call these guys back and say, like, so it was constant, being on the comms, trying to coordinate everything. But I mean, it ended up being a great event. At least for the portion that I was there, it was awesome.
Right. So speaking of the wind, on Friday night we cooked hot dogs and whatever else we gave for the participant meeting. Our chef Rick, was having problems keeping the grill lit because the wind was blowing out the grill fire. Hot dogs took him about 45 minutes to cook hot dogs because he couldn't keep the grill hot enough because the wind kept blowing out.
Yeah,
isn't that crazy?
It was bad. It was some bad wind going on that day, and which is, it's normal. It was southwest winds, which is bad for this area, and it was luckily. So Saturday they were calling for pretty nasty winds, and when we first did the blast off, the winds were there, but literally when they did the blast off, whatever happened, the OEN OFF modulator, as I told the Coastie, for whatever reason, they went off and the wind died down until about 2 o'clock, literally. And when 2 o'clock came back, the motors were back. It hit right back up. So we were definitely being watched over that day. It was pretty awesome. Oh, sorry, I thought of something else we need to get a huge shout out, Ken. You probably know more about it than I do, but the Warriors that saved the other folks. You got more information about that, right?
Yeah. So ironically enough, we were on the cricket too, and we were coming back in, and we got a call over the Marine radio, channel 16, saying there was a boat that had capsized. And the first thought across my mind was, "Oh crap! I hope it's not our Warriors." Well, I don't want anybody getting hurt, but I really hope it's not one of our Warriors. So as we were coming in, I was maintaining. I'm not the captain of this boat by any stretch. So I was just listening to the comms. But then I reached out to Dwayne. I'm like, "Hey man, and Dwayne's like, well, we don't know yet." I'm pretty sure if it was one of our Warriors, would have definitely known by now. Long story short, boat number 14 happened to just be there at the same time, and both of those Warriors pretty much rescued those two boaters, brought them into the boat, and brought them to the dock. That literally was like not even about 50, 70 yards away from where the boat had capsized. So hats off to boat number 14. That was
Gerald Jones.
That's a hell of a fish tell.
That's awesome.
Gerald Jones.
Goodness.
Boater Gerald Jones. He's actually a boater / warrior. Yeah.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Another cool thing about Gerald is he actually initially signed up as a warrior, and then when he saw we needed more boaters, he switched over to become a boater for that event. And where that boat capsized, it capsized right near the state port, and that water is 50 to 55 feet, and the current is ungodly strong. So those folks were really lucky that they made it out unscathed. Other than the boat, really, really lucky, really fortunate.
Somebody was really looking out for all of us that day, huh?
Oh yeah,
yeah, absolutely.
And speaking of Coastie, y'all try to rag on me a lot, but guess who won the event? Guess what branch won the saltwater event with the largest fish?
Oh boy!
Well, of course,
hard to guess. I can give you a hint. I'll give you a hint if you need one. Look behind my head. Coastie, 31-pound cobia. Awesome.
He did.
That was actually really awesome. Fish. I'm not gonna lie.
That was a humongous fish. That's right. All right. Well, hey Ed, stay on with us. We are now gonna soon here wrap up this podcast. We can sit here and talk all night, as you can see.
We can. We've done it.
Absolutely.
We have. So I think Dwayne and I were gonna hold back on discussing with our viewers about keeping the flame lit during our non-event months. I think we're gonna do a video and then push it out once we kind of solidify everything. Instead of having a podcast, we'll just do a video and then make it look cool. What do you think, Dwayne? Do you think that's a lot better?
For what? I'm sorry. What did you say it was for?
The Warrior Cast and Blast.
Oh yeah.
So I think we should hold that for another week. I'll create something, and then we'll shoot that out. Just again, I know Ed, you and I talked about it.
Yeah.
It's just keeping that flame lit during our off months where we do the year-round fishing opportunities, and it's providing an opportunity for those who still want to take part in our awesome trips that our boaters volunteer for us. So real quick, let's summarize what's left of the year, Dwayne, real quick, and how they
Yeah.
can volunteer, participate, or do both.
So for the actual fishing events, we've only got 2 fishing events planned. Well, I guess 3 planned. One in August at Hyco Lake, which we haven't published anything about, so more to come to that. But the 2 published ones are our September 27th kayak blast at Johnston Pond, the Fuquay Legion, American Legion Post private pond, and then our big event would start to take warrior fishing on November 1st at Sharon Harris Lake. But like Ken said, in between all that, we always have our Take a Warrior Fishing portal, where I believe I saw an email today where our tender account, or whatever you want to call it, for boaters is going to be ready, where we'll get some information about that. And it's going to be a better way to connect warriors and boaters together with the account. I say tender jokingly, but that's basically how it was created, with the same mindset of tender, where I'm not smart enough to explain it, but basically
I mean,
that's
why we called it that. It's the way to explain it. You have a profile, and you connect. What else are we supposed to call it? Matchmaking, I guess, is probably better. I don't know.
Catch your fish. That's fish catching. There you go. Fish catching.
Hope it's not catfishing.
Yeah, not catfishing.
Catfishing. That's right.
No, that's Manto Tayo stuff there. But we got those events, but we're, like we talked about a while ago, we've got quite a few social events, community events that we are actually, it shows you that we're making a difference in the community, because folks are reaching out to us, requesting us to come to their event. So it's a great feeling to have. So just be on the lookout for more information. If you are a boater and you want to take a warrior fishing, reach out to myself, Ed, Wynn, or Ken, and we'll get you connected with some warriors, and let's try to beat our number of 157 that we had last year of how many warriors we got through the portal. So boaters, let's do it.
Yeah, let's do
All right.
it.
And this evening, our Tight Lines June newsletter will be distributed to all of our people who is in our database. So look for that. There's a contest in there. Contest is you have to find the Coast Guard symbol somewhere in the newsletter. If you do find it, reach out to us. Yeah, and it wasn't because the guy took first place for the biggest fish. I thought it was appropriate.
Yeah.
That's all I'm gonna say about it.
Speaking of big fish, I was thinking about that copia the other day, because I was talking to a bunch of people about the saltwater event this past May. And one of the things that always shocked me, and I don't know if you've been to like a fishing event, like a big one before. I know you said you fish a lot. But that was always one of the things that like baffled me about the fishing events. I'm like, it's got to be so complicated to weigh fish. Like the process has got to be so complicated. But then I was like, you know what? It can't be that hard, because they bring their own scales.
Yeah. That's right.
Oh God, Kayleigh,
that was a good
great. They're getting. Oh my God.
Swam
We're going to
that
be
one
on like
right in
national
there.
television soon. Like, you guys hear about this batfish
You
trip?
guys should know that I make my parents very proud.
You should. They're really proud. Great.
That's awesome. Good joke. All right. So no one answered the question from our last podcast, and that was the question was, what was the total weight of all the bass caught during our spring warrior clash? Nobody even attempted to try it. So we're going to attempt to do this again, but we are going to use the question of what was the total weight of the fish caught during our saltwater slam, and what will they win, Dwayne, on that one if they get it? Closest one gets it.
Got what I call fish bite, a bag of fish bite, artificial bait.
Cool.
I'll give you a hint. It's more than 31 pounds.
It is more than 31
You know what?
That is correct.
Actually, you know what? I'll even step it up. And don't shoot me for doing this. I'll give you the answer now. That means you got to watch 45 minutes of the podcast to get it. The answer, if I remember correctly, is 32.95 pounds. So if you say that number, you got to still follow the instructions to get the win.
There's like crickets in the room right now.
Yeah. Well, now we're going to have people watch the podcast. Oh, and also by the time they get to this, they already have the newsletter. So the newsletter's going to go out tonight.
Well, yeah, we'll see if they pay attention. So, hey, guys, just let you know, Take a Warrior Fishing Inc. can be found on several social media platforms.
Everywhere.
We're on Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, and obviously, if you're watching this, our YouTube channel. again, comment, subscribe, like, that helps. You'll get notifications every month when we do these podcasts, so you'll be the first person alerted. Then you can jump on there and watch all of us awesome podcast stars talk about everything in the wind. So, Dwayne, sponsored shout out. Who do you have in mind?
Ooh, I love this
Yeah,
one.
I'm just going to do one shout out today, and it's because I mentioned them last podcast, the largest sponsorship ever in the history of takeaway fishing with
Oh,
Go
yeah.
Prime Mortgage. Go Prime is owned and operated and began by Air Force warrior John Rogers, who's living the life. I mean, the dude is freaking awesome. They won a tournament, and I don't even remember what was that actually, but they won here recently with the largest tuna. But he told me yesterday, he said, "Hey, you pass the word. Any referral that comes to Go Prime Mortgage, I will donate $500 to takeaway
Oh,
fishing for every referral. So anybody that goes to Go Prime Mortgage gets a mortgage from them. Will mission us, and he would donate $500. And I can vouch for John. He has done 2 of my mortgages, and he told me at the time he's pretty good at VA loans, and I've done 2 VA loans and a refinance. I guess I've done 3 with him, and he's freaking
Nice.
awesome. So if you're looking for a VA loan, if you're looking for a conventional loan, go to Go Prime Mortgage. You don't have to talk to John. You've got great people with them that go to Go Prime Mortgage, mention takeaway fishing. And all that does is just give us more opportunity to take more warriors fishing. So thank you, John. Thank you, Go Prime Mortgage.
yeah.
Looking forward to building on that relationship. You're an awesome guy. Appreciate it.
I have to hit him up to
Awesome.
refinance.
Ooh,
Do
All
it.
right.
Do it. He actually,
girl
so
same.
the good thing about John, like I just bought my house. Well, I bought it a year ago in about 2 weeks, but he keeps me posted. He'll shoot me a text, hey, the rates are coming down, but let's hold off. They're going to come down even more. So that's the type of person he is who'll keep you up in the loop of when it is time to refinance.
Nice.
But definitely reach out.
Cool. Well, we're going to go around the horn real quick before we all say our farewells.
Boy.
Anybody got anything for the podcast or want to share something, or we good
Listen,
to
I
go?
had my shining moment. I do know we've
You
got a
did.
couple of social events coming up, so I'll keep everybody posted and we'll send some dates out, create some events. Definitely keep up with us on socials because the Dwayne and Ken show on the socials is timely. You'll know what's going on. You'll know where we are. You'll know where the fish are happening. So definitely keep up with us on socials.
Ed, you got anything?
Yeah, yeah, it's been a awesome time on the podcast. I really appreciate you guys having me on again, and for all the listeners out there looking ahead, we're going to continue to build relationships with our warriors, expanding our outreach opportunities, and we're going to find new ways to engage with our warriors year round. You mentioned that the cast blast, right? Is that what you're calling it?
Warrior.
Cast and blast.
Yeah, Warrior Cast and Blast.
Cast a blast. There we go.
The secret.
Yeah. But
Secret.
whether through events or partnerships, just being able to expand our network across the state and even other states.
Yeah, everywhere.
But, yeah, I'm excited. I'm excited for what's ahead for Take Warrior Fishing. And again, thanks for having me on the podcast.
Absolutely. All right, Dwayne, this is our favorite part. Edwin, you can jump in. Kayleigh, you kind of know. For those who are about to fish, we salute you.
We salute ya.
Ed, thanks for coming on board. Kayleigh, congratulations. Ken, thanks for all you
Thanks,
do.
friends.
Everybody else, thank you too.